New York, London, Tokyo, Singapore, Dubai. Many of the greatest cities in the world have a central business district with super tall buildings. Technology to make buildings like this have existed for over 100 years. In India as well, cities like Mumbai and Calcutta have some super tall buildings. It's a very human desire to reach for the sky. So how come Bangalore's skyline is so stunted? Bangalore's population is set to double by 2030. For a city that's struggling to cope with its current population, this sounds like trouble. Where will all these people stay? How can we provide them with the dignified quality of life that they've come to the city for? Urban planners would say that building density is the answer. People like living close together, and dense urban neighborhoods come with many advantages. A high density of people brings a high density of local businesses. This provides customers more choices, and better rates. Density creates demand, and demand fuels innovation. Dense neighborhoods create fun communities. It's common sense that being around other people is good for your health. Living closer to your friends allows for more spontaneous plans. There's two ways to build 100 houses on this island. Denser construction takes up less land and so leaves more open space for nature and people to use. Denser cities reduce travel time for more people. If your office is closer to your home, you can walk or cycle. Denser cities would mean that more people need fewer vehicles to get their jobs done. Right now, half of the city's pollution is just vehicular pollution. So how come Bangalore is not dense? Let's say you have a plot in Malleshwaram and want to construct a 20-story building. You can't just go and make it. The permitted height of your building will depend firstly on the floor area ratio prescribed by the BBMP in that area. If your plot's FAR is 1, it means that 1 square feet of building can be made for every 1 square feet of land. If your plot's FAR is 2, then you can build 2 square foot of building for each square foot of land. There are 3 additional parameters that influence how your building would get built: plot coverage, road width, and setbacks. Plot coverage is how much of the plot you can build on. If your plot coverage is 50%, then you can't build on more than 50% of the land. Based on the road widths bordering the plot, there is a compulsory distance you need to leave open. And on sides without roads also, there are prescribed setbacks. In Bangalore, for example, a typical 30-40 plot will leave a setback of 3 feet on all sides. Setbacks help distribute light and ventilation more fairly. There are broader public policies that influence a building's height. For instance, the Karnataka government allows more floors on a building if it is close to a metro station. This is part of a larger initiative to incentivize development near transit hubs, and this is called transit-oriented development. Similarly, sometimes when you make a deal with the government, they give you something called TDR, Transferable Development Rights, which can also work like TOD to give you additional floors on your future construction. Airports regulate building heights to ensure safe takeoffs and landings. These rules protect pilots, passengers, and residents along flight paths. In India, the Ministry of Civil Aviation sets height limits around airports. The closer your plot is to the airport, the lower you can build. Building in any of these zones requires an NOC from the airport authorities. And HAL isn't just any airport, HAL is a defense airport. Defense airports have a special set of concerns that civil airports do not. Military aircrafts generally fly at a lower altitude than commercial flights. And HAL airport also functions as a test space for new military equipment and pilot training. So the height restrictions here are even more stringent. And so getting an NOC from HAL is harder. To build within 500 meters of defence land in Bangalore, after the NOC from BBMP and their friends, and after the NOC from the panel of AAI and HAL, you'll now also have to get an NOC from the Ministry of Defence. And the local military authority possesses unbridled powers to reject construction of high-rises within 500 meters of any defence establishment boundary. BBMP's conservative provisions for building height and all this airport business are the main reasons for the shortage of tall buildings in Bangalore. But there's some more layers to consider, not legal so much as cultural. Bangalore was known for its tree line before its skyline. The old charm of Garden City still lingers in the minds of many residents and decision makers. Bangaloreans continue to prefer owning independent houses over apartments. This is added to the inertia in embracing vertical urban growth. And Bangalore is just bad at construction. It's sad, but it's true. Most tall urban buildings are designed with really high quality public areas like plazas and lobbies. Bangalore's buildings, on the other hand, love tall walls, fences, and death threats. Bangalore seems to be terribly afraid of building public spaces. Public spaces like parks and lakes are mostly gated. Public buildings are also gated and fenced. Even statues in the middle of the road have no consideration for pedestrians. The most welcoming public spaces in our city today are its markets, but even these are on the average awful as they are overrun by traffic with insufficient footpaths. As a reaction, we have started building private public spaces, gated communities, malls and IT parks. But these come with an even more stringent enforcement of their boundaries. Bangalore's central business district is particularly well suited to tall buildings in dense population. The city overall, like much of the Deccan Plateau, sits on a nice, thick and very stable granite bedrock. It's a low seismic zone and this makes for great foundations. This CBD area of Bangalore also has best quality of public utilities. From electricity to water supply to internet and roads, MG Road is better equipped than Sarjapur Road in all of the above. Another very important layer to support urban density is reliable public transport. Much of the current and upcoming metro network passes through the CBD area, and a majority of the city's bus route also move around here. This is all prime setup for our city to add more density. Okay, so if density is so great and HAL is the biggest obstacle, can't we just move the airport? Unfortunately, no. Moving the airport would require finding and cleaning a large amount of empty space somewhere else. Across the country, such open spaces are getting more expensive each year. Further, airports need stable directional winds to enable takeoff and landing. Airport authorities will often look at close to 100 years of wind reports before choosing a space and undertaking the construction of a new airport. Finding such a space is difficult. The unique geography of the HAL airport and the nearby Bengaluru lake have had ideal flying conditions for centuries, and this continues to remain true today. Finally, it's not just the airport. There's many workshops, departments, supporting research and development organizations, facilities for staff, and many other ecosystems that have evolved around the HAL airport over the last 50-60 years. It will not make sense to just move the airport. We would also have to move many of these other facilities. And this makes everything much harder. How come Mumbai's skyline is so tall then, despite having an airport right in the middle of the city? Well, simply put, the Mumbai local authorities really like skyscrapers. The MMRDA has taken multiple steps to make the construction of skyscrapers very easy in Mumbai. Take for example how they have updated the definition of high-rises from 70 meters to 120 meters. Meanwhile, for BBMP, anything above 15 meters is a high-rise. Also, the Mumbai airport is a civil airport. The NOC guidelines involve just the AAI, and so the process is a lot clearer. Right now, Bangalore's building regulations link road width to building height. And in popular discourse, it seems like the only way we could have super tall structures is to also have super wide roads. But this is not true. Singapore has some really tall buildings along 2-lane roads. By mandating public access to the first few floors of skyscrapers and building the city around reliable public transport, Singapore shows us how it's possible to have enormous density without creating a mess of parked cars and traffic congestion. Look at Amsterdam. It has achieved exceptional urban density with buildings averaging just 6 floors. What stands out here is the clarity. Every plot in the city is either built to optimal height or used for public amenities. Bangalore is vast and growing rapidly. Density is emerging naturally, but much of what is being built isn't good density. In areas like Sarjapur Road and Budigere Road on the outskirts, we see gated single-use towers, very dense but disconnected. In older neighborhoods, we see haphazard PG-style constructions without adequate utilities or amenities. Good density is different. Good density is mixed use. Good density integrates homes, offices, shops and leisure spaces. And good density comes with an abundance of public areas that are open, secure and connected to the rest of the city. Good density enhances quality of life. Okay, so how can Bangalore build good density? First, our city's governance needs to be fixed. All of Bengaluru's civic departments are understaffed, underfunded and lack direction. Local elections, overdue now for almost a decade, have to happen soon. Without a strong and capable administration, the planning needed to execute good density will fall short. Second, growth must be intentional. Right now, development is scattered and disconnected. Emerging hubs need better planning and faster, more efficient connections between each other. Only then can these centers grow denser in ways that benefit the city. Third, we really need to rethink gated communities. Gated communities, private campuses and defense land are fragmenting the city. They isolate residents, worsen traffic and block access to public spaces. The BBMP must embrace vertical growth. 6 floors isn't a high-rise anymore and outdated rules need to evolve. HAL Airport and the various defense authorities also need to adapt to Bangalore's rapid transformation. The city is not a quiet cantonment anymore. It is now one of India's most happening real estate markets. Climate change and the population explosion are putting immense stress on our city, but we can design our way out of this conundrum. We can stop the city from sprawling out further, and we can fill in the gaps that exist between current development. If we do so, very quickly, Bangalore will be able to offer many more of its citizens a higher quality of life. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.